Hello and welcome to our Frankfurt MICE Days. I would say we will wait a few more minutes till more participants will arrive, and then we can start.
Hello. Great to see everybody.
Yes. And great to see so many participants already. If you like, feel free to write down in the chat from what cities you're joining us today and from what countries. That would be interesting to know. Oh, Munich. Okay, hello to Munich. Oh, Frankfurt is here as well. Mumbai, oh, nice. From the other side of the Main, that's nice to see too. Oh, hello to New York City. So Lumi is here as well. Hi. Okay, there are more and more people coming.
Shall we start or wait another minute?
Well, I'm ready. If you are, Jutta, I think.
Okay, then I'd like to start. I'm sure everybody sees a lot of familiar faces here. Let me introduce myself. My name is Jutta Heinrich. I'm director of the Frankfurt Convention Bureau. And I would like to give a very warm welcome to the international MICE community. And by the way, it's a very warm welcome because summer has finally arrived in Frankfurt and it's really, really great weather and hot. Well, our city is ready for you, opening up for the events step by step. And still there's one event that we have all missed so much, the IMEX Carina for the second time. As it could not take place in our sunny city this year, we have brought our city digitally to everyone who is interested to learn more about Frankfurt and our incentives, congress venues, and all the possibilities during the last 3 days with our Frankfurt MICE Days that you can find in the start is always the venue of the German Convention Bureau, the virtual venue. We're very proud to have our meeting room there. After 2 days of sessions in German language, we are glad to inform you today in English. And we have just arrived now at the final session, which is, to be honest, the cherry on the cake. We are more than happy that we could win well-known speakers of our industry to this session, who for sure are very busy, but have decided to spend some of their precious time with us. And my colleague Inga Seggelmann will introduce them to you in a minute. At this stage, I would like just to say a big thank you from my side to everyone participating and to our speakers. Inga has done a very great job organizing the whole event and also moderating individual sessions the last 3 days. You were very, very busy, Inga. That's great. And you will be also the host of this final session. So I just say the floor is yours. And good luck for the fireside session.
Thank you, Jutta. And also a warm welcome from my side. I am very pleased to moderate this fireside chat. Today, we want to explore the exciting question of what the future of big events, meetings, and conferences look like. And therefore, we have very special MICE experts today, whom I would like to introduce to you now. And I would say, ladies first, I am very pleased to welcome Carina Bauer, the CEO of IMEX Group. Hello, Carina. And then I would like you to meet Matthias Schultze. He is the director of the German Convention Bureau. Hi, Matthias. Michael Biwer is the Vice President, Guest Events at Messe Frankfurt. Hello, Michael. And last but not least, I am happy to introduce to you Florian Winkler. He is Director of Sales at Frankfurt Marriott Hotel. Hello there. It's nice to have you all here. So, well, our team of the Frankfurt Convention Bureau, for us, it was a huge shock when IMEX Frankfurt was canceled 2 times in a row, although we know it was the most reasonable decision. Now we are all looking forward to the anniversary edition of IMEX Frankfurt next year. Carina, can you already give us some very first insights about the current planning?
Yes, so thank you, Inga. It's lovely to be here with all my fellow panelists and also everybody joining us online. Yes, absolutely. As you say, you know, it was awful to have to cancel twice, but like everybody else in the world, that's the position that, you know, we've all been in as an industry. We are really looking forward to being back in Frankfurt next April. I think we can all feel pretty confident about the world really being ready for the Frankfurt show next April. So we feel extremely confident about it. And partly, of course, that's the result of us working towards IMEX America, which takes place this November. And so I think what I can say about the planning is 2 things, really. One is we've had a very long time to plan this show, longer than we would have wished for. And so our team have been saying this will be the best planned show we've ever done. And we've been working with Michael and his team at Messe Frankfurt, and obviously your team, Inga and Jutta, and Matthias's team, to really ensure that we're ready to welcome the whole world back to Frankfurt, back to Messe Frankfurt, and back into IMEX. And to do that in a way that's safe and secure, but also a fantastic experience. So many of the design and flow changes that we were due to make for the show this year, due to COVID, actually will enable us to use our space in an even better way and to really create a better experience, really, for our exhibitors and for our guests. The other thing that I would say in terms of the planning is just that there's huge demand out there. We see that for IMEX America, and we see that also for IMEX in Frankfurt. One of the things that our team has been able to do over the past 18 months is just develop and keep even more connected with their clients, with the global industry than we were before. We didn't even realize it was possible to be more in contact, but actually we have spent our time just really developing those relationships. And so we know that both on the buyer side and the exhibitor side, people really are desperate to come back to face-to-face events and doing business face-to-face. And so the demand will be very high from exhibitors and buyers alike. And so we're already planning that. We're already talking to people about their stands and their buyer groups and education and all of those great things that people can look forward to.
Thank you, Carina. We are all very much looking forward to it. And I think these were already lots of like lively and exciting insights. Now I would like to go a bit more into theory. So the Innovation Network Future Meeting Space by the German Convention Bureau and the Fraunhofer Institute for Industrial Engineering investigates relevant developments in the event industry. Matthias, with the current research focus, you are looking at the challenges of the post-corona era. How exactly are you approaching this research phase, and are there perhaps like already very first like findings that you can share with us?
Yeah, definitely, Inga. Thank you very much for having me. And one of the key findings is that I will definitely join IMEX next year. That is the key finding of this year's research. But well, just the idea of the research network was, just to quote a very famous Greek philosopher, Pericles, who already said more than 2,500 years ago, it is not our task to predict the future, but to be prepared for it. And that's what we do with the Innovation Alliance Future Meeting Space that was initiated a few years ago. To be precise, it was 2015 through the German Convention Bureau. in partnership with the Fraunhofer Institute. The Fraunhofer Institute is Europe's largest application-oriented research institute. And together we look into trends, into developments. We want to better understand how megatrends impact our industry. And the current situation, of course, is a very specific situation, which we need to look into detail, because some of the experiences we made during the last 15 months will remain and will help us to create even better events than we did before Corona. And some, like the appetite for face-to-face events, that will definitely come back. I fully agree with Carina. We just had yesterday in Frankfurt, beautiful Frankfurt, at the Radisson Hotel, we had our very first physical future meeting space innovation network meeting, and that was excellent. 20 people met from all around Germany, and we discussed all the current trends. And for those who are interested to learn more about this innovation network, I'm sure that you, Inga, and your colleagues from the Frankfurt Convention Bureau will share the latest research with all those of you who are interested in joining today. And the interesting thing is, we will tomorrow, I think, we will finalize a first little management summary of the first findings of this current research phase about the 10 main influencing factors which will impact the business event sector within the next within the next 12 to 36 months. And this, I think, will be very helpful and useful for all of us who are facing new challenges for the moment and need to get ready for this new now.
Thank you. That's very, very interesting to hear. Well, I feel like our industry is more than ready for a restart. Messe Frankfurt, for example, has developed a comprehensive protection and hygiene concept in order to be well positioned for future events. Michael, what measures have been implemented and what will last after the pandemic?
I think the importance, and thank you for that question, Inga, is, and this is, I really looking forward, as well as Matthias and Carina, and I think Florian, you, for IMEX next year. We are ready for that, but the top priority for us is the safety and the health of all our visitors, exhibitors, service partners, of course, also of our employees. We never imagined that before. I mean, we have all our security concepts in the past, and we always had something going on in the world, but COVID hit us in a different way. So we did all this, and I could give you now all this topics, we have done it, but you can also read a paper like 50 sites and you can tell like, wow, all these healthy things in the direction left, direction right. And I think one of the big rules and they will stay also probably, is keep your distance, observe hygiene, wear a mask and ventilate. It's something like washing your hands is so easy. I mean, we should always doing it, but we have to bring that in mind of the people again during these times. But at the end, I would say, I hope that nothing lasts after a while, that we really can go on like we did it before. Handshakes, also falling in our arms to have some parties and to have good chats, to have good business talks together, and in all the situations, I think the main impact we had is the constant exchange in that dynamic situation with the customers, with the authorities. It is so much important that you absorb also the other countries. We have a big sales partner and subsidiary network, and we're looking in every country what's going on with COVID over there, what's for hygiene measurements are there at the moment, how we could implement some things from abroad to our concept for Germany. And in this dynamic situation, we always talk to people as much as we can. We try to bring together the concept. So it is not that like we have a concept and then we go to the government and say like, okay, come on, let's do it. It's more like, let's work together with all the organizers, with all the Congress event organizers, to see what we can do in this dynamic situation together. But I can really say at the moment, we are ready for everything. And we are also allowed to do some events, like Matthias said, at the moment I would say in a smaller way, but it's growing from week to week at the moment very fast, that we going back to the bigger business. And at least I hope next year we just laugh together and drink together and have a good IMEX where we all sit together and have the best business we ever had before.
Absolutely. Thank you, Michael. Well, I think this is very helpful to know, since we get lots of requests about hygiene and security from our event planners. Also, Florian, you are in direct contact with many event professionals. When you look at requests for end of 2021 or 2022, what would you say, like, how are the needs of customers change?
Yes, yeah, happy to answer that. And thank you, first of all, for having me. It's great to be part of this panel here today. And yes, we do see that client opinions, they change, and actually opinions, they differ, we have to say. On the one hand, we do see that companies that travel less, you know, they meet less, they weren't allowed to do that, and people make more use of technology, you know, like new tools like Zoom, Microsoft Teams, whatever they have. And we see that the usage of these tools that will stay, and hybrid or digital events, they will stay. And we do see that this year and also 2022 and beyond even. So it will be a part of our meeting culture, so to say, in the future. But we also see the contrary opinion that people say, well, we pause our events this year and we will not do a hybrid or digital event, and we'll actually wait till we can meet face-to-face again, because some or a lot of elements can be covered in a hybrid event format, for instance, but other things like the networking, you know, you have a coffee in the coffee break, or let's say you have a famous last drink at the bar after that, where you just network and you build relationships. And so where people, we interact, people buy from people, so to say, and that cannot be fully compensated by a hybrid event. So therefore, they pause events this year, 2021, and have last year, and they say, okay, we'll do it again next year or towards the end of the year when we can do that without restrictions. And these are the two opinions we really see. And I personally believe that both, as I said, solutions will stay. Face-to-face events, of course, but also hybrid formats.
Thank you. Yeah, I think this hybrid digital topic is very interesting. Carina, last month, you've launched a new digital platform called IMEX Bus Hub that will run until September. Can you tell us more about it? And do you think that these kind of platforms are rather transitional solutions, or can we expect more like this from IMEX in the next years?
Yeah, so just to give a background on the IMEX Buzz Hub, so as you say, it's a digital platform that we're running over the summer months, May through to September, and it's an opportunity for us to connect the global meetings and business events community. We couldn't run IMEX in Frankfurt, and rather than doing one digital event over a week, we decided to do lots of smaller activations over those months, in the knowledge that people would be going back into some kind of hybrid working, going back to live events in some way. And so it's a mixture of co-created or audience-curated discussion groups, as well as more traditional digital education. And we've got some fun networking activities and things like that planned over the summer months. In terms of how long-term platforms like that are, I think it really depends on the event and the community. I think what we are doing in terms of IMEX is to both a desire to help people connect on a more human level. So when you go in, you can connect with people based on your personal passions and not just your business interests. but also for us an experiment to understand a little bit more about how these platforms work and how we might want to link our shows on a year-round basis in the digital space in the future. The degree to which we do that and how that works, I think, will be dictated partly by us, but also partly by what the community really needs. I think all event organisers know that the sort of golden egg, if you like, or what we've always tried to do is extend the life of our events beyond those 3 days or 5 days. And so really what we're doing is experimenting with what does that really mean? What does the community like? What really gives them value at the end of the day? And we are learning. And so what we've said is that at the end of this period, we will produce a case study so that other event organisers, whether they're trade shows or not, can also learn from our experience of what it really takes to build that online community and activation and engagement at the end of the day. So I don't know at this point in time how it's going to play out. It's been successful so far. People have liked what we've done. But it's very labor intensive, so won't yes. deny that. It's hard work. It's very different business. It's a very different kind of work, and so I think we'll go back to looking at what really provided value to our stakeholders, and then from that we'll work out what makes sense for a more longer term strategy in the future.
Thank you, Carina. Yeah, I feel like with all these like new digital platforms and technologies, it's a lot about learning, but also like lots about progress, and we will see how things will develop in the end. Yeah, speaking of digital platforms, the German Convention Bureau has developed a huge campaign called Germany at the Heart of Future Events. So the Frankfurt MICE Days are a part of it. And yeah, Matthias, can you please tell us a little bit more about the campaign?
Yeah, you mean about the labor-intensive campaign? Yes,
yeah.
Indeed. I can agree with you and Carina. Digital and virtual is quite labor-intensive, at least at the moment. But we started that campaign, and that campaign was born and built on 4 pillars. Not only since Corona started, but even before. And this campaign, which lasts from June until September as well, until the end of September, we want to create a virtual home, a virtual digital platform for our stakeholders, for our members, partners, as well as their customers, to get in touch even in times where it's maybe not possible to meet in person. The important thing with the campaign is that from the very beginning, IMEX, PCMA and many other partners helped us to build this campaign, to create this campaign. At least, of course, more than 70 of our partners helped us to run the entire system. And the idea behind this is really to create benefits for our stakeholders. And we called it 4-pillar system, and 1 pillar is life experience. Over the next few months or weeks, some of those who are interested to meet our partners in person in Germany, we can host smaller groups in certain destinations in Germany to show them around and to make them and show them what our partners are preparing for the future, what's new, and what we call the new normal, or I prefer the new now, because what's normal in these days, maybe 2 days later, this new normal becomes the new now. We created a 2nd pillar, which we call virtual marketplaces, where we just created a virtual venue where we meet today as well in the meeting room of the Frankfurt Convention Bureau, to offer the opportunity to bring people together and to exchange information and discuss any topics they want to. And the 3rd pillar is the so-called pillar education. We run several education programs, seminars, I think at the end of June, which we all invite you all to join. It's free. And the most important thing is just to help and educate ourselves and our community to get ready for the new now. And the 4th pillar, which is my favorite pillar, and once again, thank you very much, Carina and IMEX Group. You helped us to create this open innovation platform already before Corona entered all our lives. And this open innovation platform, which we call Response Room, is an open innovation platform for the entire business events industry all around the world. And you have the opportunity to submit a challenge you're facing for the moment, be it a challenge as a supplier or be it a challenge as a meeting or event planner, and the community can help you to solve the challenge. And that's what we started a few months ago. And all these 4 pillars help us to get connected and to show readiness and willingness for dialogue over the next few months while we get ready for the restart and starting all the new programs and services and products which we all together with our partners in Germany have developed and created over the last few months.
Thank you, Matthias. So we love how our Frankfurt meeting room turned out. Like even the pillows have the color of our logo. So it's very nice to see. And if you have time after the session, please feel free to take a look around in the meeting room. You can chat with us, you can make appointments with us, and yeah, just take a look around if you like. Yeah, so many trade shows and events have been postponed this year or have taken place digitally or hybrid. Now I'm wondering, will this trend continue, or has it even created a greater desire to meet live again? Michael, what would you say from the Messe Frankfurt point of view?
From my point of view, I need to say I don't hope that will continue in that way we have it at the moment, because we are a location provider, so we need people face to face, we need busy places. But of course, the question was always the added value, like Carina said it before. What can we bring to our communities? What can we do for them? And the question was before the pandemic situation already in all our minds. We had no idea, or at least a lot of people and a lot of organizers had no idea how to do it. Even us, we sit there and said like how we could do it digital implementation, and the people say no digital, and the press said, oh, just digital only, forget about trade shows or some events, you can also just display them in digital formats. And then we learned in the pandemic situation that just digitalization is also not the key to everything. So we have now the digital fatigue, we call it. So the people want to see themselves on a networking event, and then to see face to face, to have the personal encounters to everybody. But I also believe it will be a mixture out of digital components and face-to-face meetings. And here is a bit the problem at the moment, because we learned now on one side just the face-to-face situation, on the other side at the moment just digital platforms. And now we have, like we said, the hybrid component coming in. So you have the problem that you bring these two worlds now together and need to figure out what you can hold in your events, what you can really do. And I would say, and probably Carina can agree, you cannot just copy things from physical events to the digitalization. It's not working out. The people get bored after a while, they not listen to you anymore. So you have to have an other activation behind it. And if you look behind Matthias, there's this nice background from our digital studio, and it's nice to have that there, and definitely we need it. But I think the emotional components you can't just push away, and people love to talk in a direct meeting. They want to get the feeling if this people in front of you is an honest man or woman, or how you can do business with this. And this is a feeling you have in a personal conversation much easier than just on a video platform. You need sometimes to grab products and touch them and feel them, and so all these emotional senses will be catched up. And but on the other way, you need to bring some topics and some community networking also, so to people they may be not allowed to travel, they have maybe still travel restrictions, and you want to share all your ideas also to this community people who are not with you. And so I'm pretty sure it will stay some points of digitalization for sure. They're coming a lot different other points into this business, like we're talking about sustainable concerns, growing environmental awareness, and all these things coming up as well. So there's a lot going on at the moment, people looking around, and we just had face-to-face. Now we're reduced to digitalization, and now we learn what's going on next. And like Future Meeting Space is offering it. They all show so many things, and as an organizer, just grab it, take it, and try it out and figure it out. And the main importance is talk to your community, talk to your customers, be very close to them in a personal relationship. Then I'm sure you don't do any big mistakes. You just go a step forwards for the future.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what you said about emotion is such an important thing, because sometimes at an event you meet someone in a coffee break and you have a spontaneous or funny situation, and this is what you will remember like the next year when you meet this person again. But how can you do this virtually? So very, very interesting. Right now we are talking about hybrid events in general, but I would like to get a little bit more specific, because at the Frankfurt Marriott Hotel, several hybrid events have also taken place. And I'm wondering, Florian, maybe you can tell us specifically about one event, like what were the biggest challenges and what did you learn for the future? And also we have a question from the Q&A about this. Because someone is asking, since most events now will need higher bandwidth for hybrid events due to streaming, have the properties in Frankfurt, like the Frankfurt Marriott Hotel, updated themselves to allow for this?
Yes, yeah, I'm happy to answer that. Maybe I can, answer that question together. Yes, so I mean, there are a few challenges, and talking about the bandwidth, that's something which I can right away address. And that's something, obviously, if you organize a digital hybrid event, something you should look into, because I mean, there's nothing more frustrating than, being lost, having lost connection or anything like that. And I think one of the challenges that we have is everybody wants to do digital events, hybrid events, but sometimes there's a lack of, experience. We haven't done it before really, or few companies have done it before. And it's not just, let's say, open up Zoom or let's say Microsoft Teams, and then just have everyone dial in there. I think you can do that for a small board meeting, but once you have, let's say, an audience of 100 people or more, you really need to look into something more professional. You need to ensure, all the technical equipment is there. And next to this maybe lack of expertise or experience that some organizers have, is also the common, I believe, that, well, let's do a digital event, a hybrid event, and it's cheap. We save the travel costs, we save everyone from getting there. But once again, if you want to do it professionally, there is a certain investment you need to do. Whether it's a software, you want to make sure that your speakers, they're understood well. You need microphones, you need some camera equipment, and all of that. And I think anything over, let's say, 100 people, you need to do something professional. Yes, we've done that. We've done that for a few events, actually just in June. Now we ran an event, a hybrid event, where we had a few people in our hotel. We have our built-in actually streaming studio. We streamed that event outside to over 3,000 people actually, so that worked really well. As I said, for us, we do have our own sub company. We call them Venue Tech. They're event or technical professionals, AV professionals. They do help clients with that. As it's very important that you have someone to talk to, that you have someone that can give you some advice, that can help you, especially if you come there and you've not done it before. You need to have sure to someone to talk to and that you can trust actually. And yeah, I think that's the biggest advice I can give. Find a venue that can do that, has experience with that can assist you with that, and don't just rely on some kind of tool and then until the day before just have everyone logged in and then see what happens. And maybe just to finish off with a little bit of a funny story here. Obviously, if you have an event where you have, say, 100 people in a room, and you have a speaker, you do get immediate feedback from the audience. You right away can feel what are the people saying to you, what are the effects of what you're saying or what you're presenting, or whatever your product service. And if you do that digitally or a hybrid event, you do not get that immediate feedback. And you do not always like have a direct interaction with the guests. And we actually had that on an event where we had several speakers dialing in, and actually one of the speakers fell asleep during the event.
No way.
And it's obviously not something where you right away you go up to the person, you pinch the person, say, "Hey, it's your turn now. So yeah, what are you going to do?" You know, it's just a funny example, but there are, as I said, a few challenges that you have, but definitely, as I said, it will be a thing of the future, as I said before. But as we all agree, it will never compensate, or will never entirely replace the physical face-to-face meetings that we've all done in the past.
Yeah, I think so too. Thank you.
This is what you said, Florian. It's not about always about costs. It's also about the partnership. You have to be sure that you have a partner on your side who can guide you through, who could help you in all questions you have in your mind, because you're not used to talk to a camera or talk maybe in a black box and presenting something, getting no claps, like you said it. This is very, very important. I would say just don't look just on the money, just look more on the partners. How good and open are they for you and you? Do they help you, or are they just doing maybe their technical jobs? I would say nobody will just do it, but there are some black sheeps always. So just look very carefully that you really work with the partners you would like to.
That's what you said, Michael, in the very beginning, that reflects the current situation. So in the current situation, we were only able to run digital or virtual events. Before we did a lot of, or many physical events, but the future will show what the right format is. And it's always about the purpose of an event. And then you can decide, okay, which one is the correct channel or the correct tool. Is it the hybrid, is it the virtual, or is it maybe the physical event? That's one thing. And we also believe within our research group that we will see new event formats, especially in the physical field, because there are so many changes going on in our societies at the moment. For example, there are huge companies in all over Europe and the rest of the world which allow their employees now to work mobile or from home, 3 days a week, 4 days a week, whatever. So whenever they come together, they need spaces, they need places, they need great environments where they can meet in order to discuss and interact and celebrate their successes or whatsoever. And there will be a new market, I believe, for new formats. Then we need new architecture, new infrastructure, new setups, whatsoever. And that's the new, I think. So we will see new event formats coming, and that is a great opportunity for our business events sector, because we know and we see in these days that when people do a lot of virtual meetings, they are really looking for authentic and real places, because you can scale spaces, but you can't scale places. You know, places are unique, places are authentic, and places are something where we have to go to meet people, and the place can make the difference. You know, if you choose a hotel with a great interior design or great architecture, then it's a statement. You know, you choose the hotel XYZ because it's a great place to be there. Or you choose a destination, even in hybrid or virtual meetings, people are looking now for the right destination from where to broadcast, because the destination is a statement. If I broadcast from Frankfurt, it's a statement because XYZ. This is why IMEX has decided to choose Frankfurt as their place to be. It's a statement. It's accessible, and it's surrounded by a big European market. And all these factors, I think, will definitely bring us back to life. It will create new event formats. Of course, digital formats will remain, will maybe even increase. But our thesis is that the entire live communication sector will grow in general, because there are more opportunities to meet, there are more touch points we have to deal with, there will be more solutions, more platforms, be it physical or digital. So the entire live communication sector, I think will grow.
Absolutely. So thank you for the very interesting insights. I feel like we could talk for hours about this topic. For the final question, I would ask you to look into your crystal balls. Please tell me in no more than 3 hashtags, we want to keep it short and simple. How do you envision the meeting industry in 5 years? And I would say I'll start with Michael.
Okay, 3 hashtags. I would say for the first, flexibility. For the second, definitely personal encounter. And the third, I would say move quickly.
Okay, great. Florian, what would you say?
I would say first of all, hashtag focused. There'll be second, hashtag bespoke, and I say third hashtag would be sustainable.
Oh, okay, interesting. And then we will move on with Matthias.
I would say hashtag 1 is authenticity, followed by hashtag 2, which is personal or physical meetings, and the third one is growth.
Growth. Okay, thank you. And so last but not least, Carina, what would be your hashtags for the future?
I'm going to give you 4 because Florian stole one of mine, which was sustainable, but I think it's important, so I'm going to say it again.
Yeah, okay. 4 is fine.
I would say buoyant, purposeful, and joyful.
Joyful. Okay, great. Thank you. That was very interesting. For me, the hashtag personal would also be very important. Yeah, and you said that too. I think that reflects very well that despite of all the technical progress, in the end, it's always about people, and the desire to connect will always remain. In this sense, I hope that we all can meet again in person very soon, at the latest at IMEX Frankfurt next year. I would like to thank all panelists, Carina Bauer, Matthias Schultze, Michael Biwer, and Florian Winkler for the very great insights. And thank you to all participants for joining our fireside chat as the last session of our Frankfurt IMEX today. So I see there are no more questions or anything in the comments. So I would say thank you, take care, and goodbye.
Thank you all.
Thank you, bye.
Thank you, bye-bye.